What is up, boys and girls? It is your buddy OB, aka 3X, back on the mic once again with a little update for you. More like an explanation. This is something that I've kind of alluded to for a while now while I've been producing the Trial of Kings tournament. The fact that I'm in the process of doing some restructuring of my core rosters and collection in general. And a part of that has a lot to do with this little sub-story, if you will, that I'm going to be ongoing after the tournament is over and done. And I wanted to go a little bit more into detail as to what that is. Obviously, you can see from the graphic that I created here, the title of this little sub-arc universe thing is Underground Kings, Gods, and Monsters. This is a reference to a couple of terminologies that I used inside of the Trial of Kings tournament, that being the king himself, of course, being Riot, and Gods and Monsters, which is what I refer to as my elite characters and fighters within my universe. Gods being those, obviously, who are more noble and benevolent, and monsters being the ones who are the evil, sinister bastards. And it's pretty much going to be an amalgamation of some things that I've always wanted to incorporate into my own story and into my own style of core show. Specifically, inspired by two games. The first of which being Urban Reign, which was the beat-em-up style game that was made in 2006, I want to say. I'm probably not correct in that, but I'll put that up in the video if I am not. And the other one is the Def Jam games, or at least the first two Def Jam games, that being Vendetta and Fight for New York. I've always wanted to do something in that style, and obviously limitations of previous generations of games obviously meant that you couldn't actually do that in WWE games. But we have a whole lot more creative options and freedom with the current games, 2K19, and I guess you could say 2K20 to an extent, even though it's a busted and broken mess. So I'm gonna try to see how it is that I can pull this off. The characters themselves are not going to be an issue. As a matter of fact, I have a majority of those characters already made. They were the ones that I made for the Trials tournament. Now, what I was going to do originally was insert these characters into the rosters of my promotions, XWA, Purity, and View Japan. Some of them I'm still going to do that, but others might have a little bit of difficulty fitting into that general wrestling type of platform. So instead, I'm creating a different platform, that being an underground platform, an underground wrestling / fighting type platform. Now, you've already seen one aspect of that in the case of the Academy of Pure Violence venue that I created. That, of course, is ran by the character Tyler Riddick. He is going to have a pretty significant role in this overarching storyline, as are quite a few other characters that have already been featured in the Trial of Kings tournament. Isabella Frost, the Ivory Queen, for example. John Payne is going to have a significant role. I'm thinking I might even make him kind of the main character, because he is a character who has almost as much history as Riot does in terms of role-playing him in eFeds and such. And I never got the chance to really use him so much in the XWA, because I wanted that when I converted it over from an eFed to a core show to be more of a focus on newer characters that I have made, and not so much just plunking all of the old eFed characters into a core show and using them alone. I think I've accomplished that, but now it's time for me to take some of those characters and put them more in the forefront in something else. And that's what I plan on doing here. So you'll see him. Obviously, Riot is going to play a role. Tyson Blackheart's going to play a role. A lot of people that you've already seen in the Trials tournament, winners and losers, are going to have a part in this Underground Kings sub-arc, sub-story. Now, I continue to call it a sub-story because I want to make this perfectly clear that I am not abandoning the XWA in any way, shape, or form. This is not a replacement. This is just a side arc. However, there are going to be some major changes as far as the XWA itself goes. As you may know, over the course of the last year and a half, I have developed two other promotions, that being Purity, Strong Style Wrestling, which was kind of my European progress type of promotion, and then Wonder Women's Wrestling, which is a subsidiary of View Japan that is based on Stardom, which is an all-women's Joshi type of promotion. Now, those two entities are still going to exist. I'm just not going to put as much emphasis on them. You'll see Purity matches and you'll see Wonder matches, but they're going to be more in the context of, say, XWA Live matches, as in exhibitions and such like that, where the matches themselves are the story and not so much me developing actual story arcs into the characters and background and so on and so forth. That type of stuff is going to be devoted specifically to the XWA promotion itself and the characters that I have on those rosters, that being the men's division and the diamond division. So guys like Christian Phoenix, Cyrus the Entertainer, Jamie Fury, Isis Diamante, Haley Jonas, etc., etc. Those characters who I've already established, and newer characters that I'm going to be integrating into those specific rosters. Now, there's still going to be a Purity roster for men's, Purity roster for women's, View Japan roster, and Wonder roster. But of all of those rosters, the XWA and the View Japan rosters, which have always been my main two rosters, are going to be the ones that take more of a precedent as far as actual storylines, angles, and such like that. And then on the other side of the coin, you'll have the Underground Kings storyline, which will be a focus as well, that does not obviously have a direct tie into the wrestling side of my universe, but still has implications, obviously, from my whole interconnecting of the Monarch Consortium and all this other neo-political type of Tekken style stuff that I have going on in the background as far as that goes. This is all very new and exciting stuff that I wanted to do for a very, very long time. And it's just a matter of how it is that I'm going to put it all together. I mean, it's a time-consuming process regardless, so I might as well make it the way that I want to make it. I understand that maybe some of you out there might be disappointed on the fact that I won't be focusing on, say, Purity as much and some of the characters there. I mean, I am going to have them, I am going to feature them, they're just not going to be in as detailed of angles and arcs as it is that I had originally planned before I started off this whole venture that is the Trial of Kings tournament. It's something that I wanted to do, and now that I see that I'm actually capable of doing it in a capacity that is at least acceptable to myself, it's not perfect, but it's acceptable, I want to continue to go down that path while still having the main stuff that I've been doing all of this time along with it, if that makes any sense. So, going forward, we're going to continue to go with the Trials tournament. I'm going to produce that out to conclusion, and then after that, the aftermath, if you will, the repercussions of that tournament will be felt directly in the main wrestling side of the roster, as well as the ongoing Underground Kings storyline. So I'm just keeping it going from there and just branching things off where it is that I see they need to be branched off. And hopefully you guys will all enjoy everything that you see going forward. Obviously, we're continuing on with 2K19, and maybe if 2K21 offers even more options, I'll go with that. Maybe I'll go with one of the other wrestling games that's in development. You will just have to see what it is that we are capable of doing as far as the creation suites go for any of these particular games that are currently in the works right now. But that's a different topic altogether. I just wanted to touch base with you guys on this particular instance on what it is that is going on in the future and how it is going to affect the content on my channel. Like I said, I hope you enjoy it because it is definitely a lot of work going into this to make it as best as it is that I possibly can. And I hope it's worth it for you guys because it's definitely a lot of fun for me. And that being said, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Updates will be coming on a more regular basis as I go through this whole process here on my channel as well as on social media. My Twitter account will be on screen as it is that I am saying it is on screen right now, so follow me there. I'll also be putting updates in my community tab on the channel, so make sure you check all this stuff periodically to see exactly what's going on and stay up to date. And that's it. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Obi, aka 3X, signing off. See ya!